Financial Insight now with our commentary on Reuters Breakingviews. Today's top picks. Greek chaos is Europe's problem too, says Breakingviews. And Mario Monti's virtuous cycle. We'll find out what that means with assistant editor Chris Hughes. Morning to you, Chris. Markets taking a far too sanguine view on what's going on in Greece. You say now.
Well, look, markets are up today. There's relief that the Greek Parliament is passing this latest round of austerity measures, obviously a precondition for receiving the next tranche of bailout money. And so, in spite of the fact that we've seen real sort of step up in the violence and protests on the streets of Athens and elsewhere in Greece, the markets are simply sort of dismissing that as a sort of Greek-only problem and appear to be saying, well, look, as far as we're concerned in financial world, Greece is doing what it's meant to be doing, and sort of problem solved.
So what should they be worrying about now?
Well, look, you have to still...
And why has that changed?
You have to still worry, we think, about the fragility of the politics within Greece and about its ability to actually implement what they say they're going to do, and taking this rather sort of simplistic view that because the Parliament's passed this round of measures, essentially the situation will sort of progress in an orderly way. I think we can't really say that yet, and there is still the risk of a disorderly
Well,
default.
there's still the risk come April that this whole thing's going to be torn up and renegotiated.
And
right?
this is going to go on and on and on. And it's as if the markets are saying, well, look, so long as the financial boxes are being ticked, it sort of doesn't matter that you have this problem of social unrest and protest within a Eurozone member country. But it does matter. So we would be a lot more cautious in the market at the moment.
Okay, Hugo Dixon's been touring Italy. He's written this piece on Mario Monti. He sings his praises in terms of the man's credibility and what has been achieved, but he says, look, let's not rest on our laurels, far more can be done.
No, I mean, what he's saying is that if you look at what Mario Monti's done so far, it's really quite remarkable in terms of the sort of credibility dividend that he has provided to Italy. I mean, it's been sharp fall in the borrowing costs, largely driven by some really kind of bold moves in terms of public sector pensions and combating tax evasion, and as Hugo says, this is fast becoming as a case study in how to turn a crisis to political advantage. But there is a but. But he's not there yet.
And let's face it, he's only got what, a year to go. When has he said he's going to get a step down? Well, I mean, he's
obviously said that he's an interim figure, and actually he will have to. If he maintains his stance, he's not going to stand for election himself. Then within a year he's going to be giving way to a new breed of politicians.
And Hugo talks about the most fundamental change he could help engineer is in Italy's self-serving culture. How do you shift that in a year?
Well, he's already cracking down on tax evasion. In terms of the concrete things that will create a new sort of business atmosphere. Clearly, going further on privatisation, structural labour reform, making it essentially easier to hire and fire people, reform of the tax system as well. But on top of that, those are all part of, again, attacking, as you highlight, this sort of culture where a bit of cheating here, a blind eye is turned to that, a bit of sort of dodgy practice is sort of permitted in return for some sort of favours here and there. That, as you say, is not going to be fixed in a year. But if you put everything else in place, at least you create the conditions where that, those kind of practices are even more abnormal. And look, it's going definitely in the right direction.
Okay, Chris, thanks for that. Chris Hughes. For more agenda-setting insight, watch our US Breakingviews show. That comes on every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 GMT. Of course, you can find that on Reuters TV and the .com site. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.